Here we have Cowboy. He's a 21-year-old quarter horse. He's been used in the Hippo program here for the past year. Prior to that, he was used as an able-bodied lesson horse for a couple of years. Cowboy is very unique in his movement in that he is very balanced as he's walking. We've put the leg wraps on his legs so that you can watch his diagonal pairs. As you see him walking, really focus on the fact that his hind legs step right up into his front footfall. It's a very symmetrical gait. He has the same distance of ground that he's covering between his two hind feet as he steps forward, which is a very rhythmical, balanced movement for the rider. We've chosen to put Cowboy on a lunge line so that you can see him walking forward a little bit freer. As he walks forward, you can see that his head is down, his neck is relaxed, and his back has a lot of movement. As his hind legs step up underneath his body, he's able to pick his back up, and you have some good rotation of his rib cage and anterior-posterior movement. As he walks up a little bit faster, keep in mind right there you can see his back gets a lot more movement. He's still very even with his legs. Very rhythmical for the rider, but a lot of push and a lot of drive from behind, which is going to be good for core stability and strength. He's very soft through his body. We'll go ahead and have him trot. So we went from the 4-beat gait at the walk to a 2-beat gait at the trot. So here you can see his diagonal pairs are moving together. The trot not only an increasing speed, but you also have an increase in suspension. So if you watch his back, there's a lot more movement. Again, he's very consistent with his stride length, a very consistent cadence. Go ahead, Kirby, you can have him walk. So when a horse is walking on a circle, if you watch, especially when he comes towards us or away from us, watch his left hind leg, his purple leg. It steps up underneath his belly and is the driving force as he's bending. That increases the amount of difficulty that the rider has and provides a diagonal force. So when his left hind leg comes forward, that's his driving leg on the circle. If you'd reverse him to the right, it would be his right hind leg. His inside leg would be the driving force. Good, Kirby. We'll have you walk him in a straight line. A unique feature about Cowboy is that he has a very dynamic gait. It's very even, but you can manipulate it. So as you see him walk away and then towards us, as he's being led, you can watch his rib cage shift from side to side. So he's got a lot of lateral movement. So there, if you watch his rib cage, you can watch it bounce from side to side. And that's his slow gait. So when you just have him walking at his typical pace, he slows down a little bit because he's being led. He doesn't quite have as much rise in his back or push from his hind legs when he's being led, which is typical. He's still very even, very square. As he goes down the long side, we're going to have Kirby demonstrate some stops and starts. This is something else that Cowboy is good at. See how his hind legs step right up underneath him? That's the movement that you're looking for. Again, he stops very square behind, very even. There's a lot of power that he steps forward with. So ideally when you're having him do stops and starts, Cowboy demonstrates that he stops on his hind end and he steps his hind end forward. In addition to stops and starts, we can take a look at him walking over some poles to manipulate his gait. The first set of poles that he's going to walk over are set short, so he's going to increase the movement in his stride and a little bit of suspension as he has to go over them. If you have a rider that you want to increase the sensation and the consistency of the footfall, if you have them do short steps over the ground poles, it's a very deliberate step. Whereas if you have a rider that you want more of a relaxing movement and a more of a flowing movement, you can have them walk over poles that are set further apart. Having the horse walk over poles is also beneficial to the horse as it makes them engage their hamstrings. Good. And then we'll have you weave through the cones, Kirby. So when a horse is on a bend, as in they're going on a circle, a serpentine, or weaving through the cones, it increases the difficulty of the rider to balance. So as they're going through, when he turns to the right here, he steps harder with his right hind leg, and now to the left with his left hind leg. So when he steps forward and up and under his body, it's a diagonal push that the rider gets, which is really good for side sitting and working on balance. So again, when he turns left, purple hind leg, push, 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 and then he changes and it immediately goes to the green, push, push, push. So Cowboy is a very good mount to use. He's very consistent in his gaits. He's got a good, steady, even walk that you can manipulate fast or slow. He's got a lot of rotation to his barrel when he's going slow and a lot of anterior and posterior movement when he's walking faster. As you can see, when he walks towards us, he gets that barrel roll again, a lot of lateral movement. Thank you.